Hi everybody, I'm Aryan Rasoulipour. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about this issue in the linguistic that whether or identification or ID represents by the language or not. Or in the other word, is the whether or language or mother tongue or any languages maybe we have learned throughout our lifespan is part of our identification or not. Let me talk about that. But before starting this topic, I should recommend you to consider this point that what's your meaning and explanation for ID and identification. For example, if you represent your identification that who you are, so who you are, it's a very important question. Based on psychology, we have two types, main major and a stream of identification in our life. We have two fields of identification as a subcategory of ID in our life, and both are important. For example, the first identification is or identification in or individual life matters, and individual life fields, and individual manners. So this identification is individual identification, something correlated to ourselves personally as a persona, just this, nothing anymore. In this identification, we have personal ID. But I will be reach that point later. Now I want to focus on second realm of identification in our life, which is plural identification or social identification. Something that represents who we are in this society, what we are, what's our preference, what are our merits, what are our values, inheritance, and everything, what are our knowledge. People are knowing us from what details, what's matter for us, what's important to know about us, and who we are exactly and who will be we, in future. So it's a social identification that it would be explained us among society, not separately, individually itself. For example, in the first realm of this identification, we have cultural identification that represent what cultures and norms we are obeying and believing. Language is exactly very co-joint and mutual and has very common point and related significantly to plural identification of each person. For example, cultural identification could be explained, not mean. So you can't mean your whole identification entirely, but by one element, which is your language. No, it's wrong. You should consider one of the elements and factors that represent you is your language. And in the realm of plural cultural identification, language shape our cultures because we transmit our norms, ideologies, and beliefs consistently throughout language. Sorry. For instance, you believe in some values in your society, and these values as a social, cultural inheritance transmitted to next generation throughout language. So the tool of that transmissions which is used to transmit our ideas is language. And another field of identification that can be represented, not totally defined, but can be explained. Again, I repeat it for much more persist on it. Is national and ethnical ideology identification. Sorry. For example, where are you from? I'm from Iran. So Persian language is part of my national identification. We, in the other word, I will be represented as a Persian native speaker. You might represent as French native speaker, German native speaker, English native speaker. So that language is one of the significant, remarkable points that represent as a peak of identification in your summit field. All in all, language is our social class identification. For example, if you consider which social class belongs to you, because social class is subcategory of national and cultural identification. So, which social class you belongs to? Who your parents were? Who you behave your hero? What's plan for? What is your plans for future? Everything in this field is social class. What I don't know, something like disclosure that you are using in your daily speech, or something like glossia that you're using, what varieties of languages you're using, what grammar you're using. All of them are part of your social class identification. You know why I didn't consider grammar as cultural or national identification? Because it's changeable among one group of the people. Is a remark element eventually social class to another social class highly. But you should keep it in mind that every social class has its unique and specified and technically social identification for its language. For example, clergy is speaking with evident types of varieties of languages. I don't know, some people in some social classes in one city can speak the various varieties of languages rather than other same group in other cities. So two colleagues could speak differently. These varieties, glossic languages re- can explain your identification throughout your language that you are using contemporary and currently as your social class language speeches. But another question that can you can ask me here, and it's very important to notice that whether multilingual people represented by different identification or not. For example, I can speak Persian as a mother tongue. I can speak as right now I'm delivering this parole to you to English language. I can speak proficiently in Arabic language as a foreign language as well. And I can understand and make a communication as what you mean in French language as well as possible. So, which of these languages are part of my social and cultural or maybe personal identification? Because this question is very niche into personal identification. This is a very debatable res- question. You can write it below in the comment box. What's your idea about it? But it's my personal idea, this part of a speech of this video cast that I'm representing to you as my alignment, as my allegation, personal allegation and claim. In my view, language can be part in the multilingual cases as a part of identification, but one of them represents you much more. That one that mostly represents you as your ide- you, and you are very proficient in it, else your mother tongue, because mother tongue is absolutely your social, your personal and plural identification. But that one that represents you the most rather than the rest, beside furthermore to your mother tongue, is your consider identification. So you should keep in mind, for example, I know myself as Persian speaker, but advanced English level speaker or Arabic speaker as a foreign language. So they can consider it as my identification as well, because people know me and recognize me that he can speak these languages. So, but it's part of my identification. But consequently, I can't consider it as same as the rest plural identification that inherited as a legacy to me from my ancestors, because it's a acquirable skill. It's not something you can learn by your parents, by your environment, automatically and deliberately. What's your idea? It's very challenging. Write it for me, and I will be glad to read your nice comments. That's it. Thank you for attending on my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like this video if you admire it, and subscribing to my channel and push the notification for further videos that I would upload. Keep enjoying, keep learning, and keep using language and keep studying. Until the next time, farewell and goodbye. Bye.